Hey guys, welcome to the show. We're about to have a fun show, but first some dates coming up. This is recorded in January, so I'll just do the dates that I have right now. February 4th, Bray Improv. February 29th, the Rec Room with Bobby Slayton. And the Irvine Improv, which I'm headlining. Really need to sell that mofo out on April 21st. Which is a Tuesday. That's all I got so much right now. With me is my trusty sidekick who finally made our first road trip podcast, Alan Lee.
Yeah. You know, I love being on the road, and I love being in Irvine.
Yeah.
And,
we're at the Irvine Improv.
I had a fun time driving down the San Diego Freeway, so it's a road trip.
Yeah. We're at the Irvine Improv. We're about to interview Pat McGann.
Pat McGann.
It's going to be fun.
I think it's going to be.
He's headlining the Irvine Improv this week. You could also see him January 11th at the Great Western Forum with Sebastian.
That's right.
He features for Sebastian. And he also has a comedy special that he's about to release that was also produced by Sebastian. Now, before we get talking to Pat, we got some catching up to do with Alan Lee. Yeah. Alan?
Yeah.
Why did you miss the interview with Brian Regan? The fans have been... Here's what happened.
Was I in New York? I was in New York, I thought.
No, you had a car issue. Your car... Remember, you were on the way...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So here's what happened. Yeah. You're not going to believe this, but I've gotten maybe 50 or 60 messages saying that you were the voice of Brian Regan.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Well, I'll tell you
I mean, it's cool for you to be, in that range, but it's not cool for me because everyone thinks I'm a liar.
No. I'm glad I didn't make it then. Because now that you tell me that, I'm really happy I didn't make it. Because I could put that on my resume.
Excellent. Excellent. All right.
This is good. I can't believe this. Here we are, and it's your home, the Irvine Improv.
Yeah, We'll see if they recognize me because I'm growing a beard and long hair.
No, I think
I look like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, who ate 20 pounds of Reese's Pieces.
You think?
I got fat, man.
You think?
Thank you, Christmas.
I haven't seen you.
Yeah, I went on the scale.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago, and it said 245.
Mm-hmm.
I went on the scale a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. It said, get a new scale.
Well, I hope you get your scale for your birthday. Get it for Christmas.
Well, do you have any shows coming up that we could plug?
You know what? Again, you can find me at the Tribal Cafe, and during
You're the house MC at the Tropical Cafe?
Not the house. The Tribal. Downtown on Fremont. And you can find me there, and you can sit down, have coffee with me. Yeah. And if you stay or don't stay, it's not a big deal to me because it's not a paid gig.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're about to rock out with Pat McGann at the Irvine Improv. We're so gracious that he did the show, and it's going to be fun, man. And then, after the podcast, we'll go get some cheeseburgers.
Let's do it, bro.
Yeah.
And a shake. And fries.
Yeah.
We'll make that scale, we'll crack that scale open, bro.
Excellent. If you guys like the show, please subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts.
And
give us great feedback or honest feedback. Sure. Just don't BS the feedback.
Any contributions are all great.
Oh yeah, we're also on Patreon or whatever the fuck that's called. Patreon. It's called Patreon.
There you go.
At Reza Riffs, no one's ever donated to that because we don't promote it that much. But if you'd like to send us $1 and keep the show going, as the hosts always say, Patreon us.
Please do.
Patreon.
Patreon
us.
Do it, please.
Do it. Because someone has to pay for the lap dances for the big guy. All right, guys. We're about to interview Pat McGann. Have fun.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
All right, guys, we're here at the Irvine Improv with Pat McGann. Pat, thanks so much for doing the show, man.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I was telling you before, I was a little scared because the contact me button on websites are very, very helpful. You know what I mean? Like they give you your manager or publicist or whatever, and you write them, and then when you don't hear from them, you're like, oh my god. So, so then I did the Twitter.
Who didn't you hear from?
Well, I mean, your manager Alex, like
You're putting him on blast right here. First minute of the podcast.
No. He's very nice because he responded. I mean, I'm trying to get in with levity, but so he responded very nice. But during the holidays,
It was the holidays. That was
So thank God for Twitter. And I was like kind of scared because like your last tweet was the 24th. I was like, oh, there's no way he's gonna respond, and then you responded.
Yep.
So that's really cool.
Telling you, I'm on Twitter. I just don't tweet that much.
Yeah. Do you find it like when you're on social media like a little scary sometimes? You know what I mean?
It's just not natural for me. It's becoming more comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up like not just being, keep your mouth shut. Just do.
Sure. Yeah.
Like no one cares about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like so much of social media is so boastful.
Oh,
yeah.
Bragging.
Yeah.
Look at me, and that's as crazy as that sounds because I'm a comic and I like to get on stage and get laughs.
Yeah.
But I'm not like look at me.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
you got to do that now. So I'm trying to. I'm actually really this year. It's one of my big things focus on is just boost social media because I do enjoy it when I do it.
Yeah.
When I come up with something and I want to share it. And I have fun interacting with people and. But yeah, it takes effort.
Yeah.
It's an exposure.
And the thing is, like, I don't know, like, I find social media really bad because I'm actually not really a sociable guy because I have a form of autism called Asperger's.
Yeah.
So I'm very, socially awkward. So like when I do social media, it's kind of like worse because I can just type things, but I misread what people type sometimes. You know what I mean?
Oh, that can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
So you're not as socially awkward as a lot of the people I know. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's the benefit of stand-up.
Yeah, you should feel good about that.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
stand-up.
That's true.
So, Pat, you're at the Irvine Improv. It's your first time headlining this weekend here, right?
Yeah, first time here at this club. I'm excited to be out here.
Nice.
This is a good time of year to come to Southern California for a guy from Chicago.
Yeah.
Just get out of that weather, and this is amazing to be out here. And
And
I know it's going to be probably a little bit of a holiday hangover weekend.
Right.
People are probably spent, but looks like there's already people lined up to come in.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have some good crowds. I heard the club's great. So.
Oh, this is the best. One of the best clubs ever.
Very good.
Oh yeah.
But I thought you'd been here before with Sebastian.
No, never through here.
Oh, really? Wow.
We've done Southern Cal. I've done some other venues around here.
Yeah.
But we've never done, or I've never done the improv with them.
Yeah. So is it kind of nice for you as a comic where you spent a long time touring with a great comic and now you're heading out with your own and you just did a special, like you're getting is that pretty cool?
Yeah, it's great. What he did for me is the most you can do for another comedian. I mean, he's getting behind the special. We taped it, and he's producing it, and now we just got to find a home for it. So that's like the first step of 2020, find out where this thing's going to land.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, I'm just trying to hustle, get out there, do my own shows when I'm not with Sebastian, and writing and trying to develop a lot of new material, because when this thing hits, a lot of that, I'm going to have to dump a lot of that stuff. All of it, really. So.
Well, because for me, I've been on the road with Norm and Jeremy Hotz and Jay Moore and stuff, and I feel that I eventually want to be a headliner.
Yeah.
But I'm very comfortable just being a feature.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Of course it does, yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, you're headlining this weekend. I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. I'm very proud.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I don't know you that way.
Yeah. No, I've been closing rooms for a while.
Yeah.
But I don't think that I've really felt like now I'm more confident in doing it.
Yeah.
Even once you start closing rooms, I think it's takes a while to even master that part of it. You're ready, but you're not ready.
Exactly.
Because you just continue to get better The only thing is there's nowhere else to move up to. You're just in that role unless you go out and you're doing theaters and bigger things. But
do you like doing theaters?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And
it really is different than the clubs. Like
100%.
It's a real different feel.
Yeah. The feedback is like 10 seconds after the joke.
Yeah. The club is just more, a little bit intimate. Mm-hmm. The theaters are more of a presentation almost, I think. Like you're just doing, it's hard to break that wall.
Yeah.
But in the clubs, it's almost like, because I used to do a ton of crowd work.
Yeah.
And then when I started going on with Sebastian, when I opened for him, I don't do any crowd work. That's not the job of an opener. You go out there in a theater, you just do your material. Mm-hmm. So now when I go back in the clubs, I'm kind of like, oh man, I have to talk to these people a little bit, engage a little bit, have some kind of interaction because it's just that much more intimate. But the theaters is really where it's at. I mean, they're beautiful and the crowds are so invested. I mean, they're coming out to see Sebastian and they've spent money on tickets. They've had these plans for months probably. Yeah. Like this has been on their calendar. It's a night out for them. Sure. Yeah. So it's a little bit easier. The wheels are a little bit more greased when you go out there and like they're pretty juiced.
Yeah. It's like you can't fail.
Yeah. And they do a great thing too that before the show they do the Sebastian face cam. Yeah. So they pan the audience and people have to make like their favorite Sebastian face.
Oh, really?
And so that's kind of like my opener. Like they are out there doing that and they kind of get into it and then I can kind of tell like, oh, this crowd's gonna be fun. So it's a good, good tell.
I always found like crowds that were full are gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Like if it's one show, it's gonna be fun. If it's two shows, then you have to be like, oh, the second show is not gonna be as fun.
Right, and if you're with a draw or if people are there to see that person, total different atmosphere.
Yeah, especially like when I was with Norm, like the first show would be hardcore Norm fans. The second show would be like people who are like Dirty Work fans.
Oh yeah.
So like they'd like scream out, "Do Dirty Work!" I mean, he'd do like 5 hours the first show, and the second show would start late.
Oh yeah.
So it was just very.
That must have been incredible working. I did not cross paths with him.
It was, yeah. It was it was one of the. I think Norm really saved me, kind of like how Sebastian gave you a lot of time. Norm gave me a lot of time. And he really trained me and stuff. And then when I went on the road with Hots, it was like a totally different. I wouldn't say better, but it was equally different experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was weird.
Yeah, you learn a lot when you work with someone that closely and that many times in different places, and you learn a lot.
Yeah. When you did the Letterman, how was that like? Because I wanted to do that, but he retired.
Oh yeah.
So it's like there goes my dream.
I was lucky I got that in.
We saw that clip.
That was I sent in content. I was recommended by Nick Griffin.
Right.
I was working with Nick on the road at the Columbus Funny Bone, and he said there's new bookers at Letterman, and they're looking for people, and he kind of like walked me right to them, and then we started working on a set. And it took a while. It took like a good 6 months, and every day I was checking my email, hoping that it was coming through, and then finally got lucky enough to get on there.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I did do it one other time before he retired. I did it like in 14 and 15, I think.
Yeah.
And second time was just a lot more enjoyable in terms of like I was able to enjoy it more. Like it was not like a blur like the first time.
Yeah. Did you do panel or just the stand up?
No, I just stand up. They brought me over to the couch,
kind of like
talked, showed them some pictures of my kids. We talked cars.
but like, I always thought of like, you know how Carson would pull people over and like talk to them. I always thought like maybe if he did that with the comics like Letterman, you know what I mean, just pull people and they do panel and skip over Helen Hunt.
No, they have Helen Hunt before you come out. You're last. You're dead last.
Like opening the show, Helen Hunt. Everyone goes, well, Helen. It's like closing the show, Pat McGann. Yeah.
That was cool when I did. I got it the first time I did it. Kevin Bacon was the main guest.
Oh, really?
And then the second was second time I did it was Bill Hader.
Oh, yeah.
So it was cool. Like both times.
I love both those guys.
Yeah, and they had.
Bill Hader, like. For a comic actor, I actually think he's very talented as an actor.
Oh, he's so good.
Like, Trainwreck, was a comedy movie, but his acting was phenomenal.
Yeah, he's a really good actor.
And Kevin Bacon, whatever. I think he's
You don't like his work?
No, I love his work, but I think I like his name better.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, he's a legend.
Like Kevin Bacon.
And ageless, that dude.
Oh, he's just not the same. It's like
Yeah.
Did you have a conversation with Kevin Bacon?
No, and we said hello, and I don't know if I got a picture with him. I don't think I did. Just said hello, and I was so nervous, dude. I was not capable of talking to anybody.
I had a dream that I did the Tonight Show because I dream a lot.
With which host?
Letterman, because he's my hero. I dreamt that Emilio Estevez was the.
Oh really? Oh, it was a wet dream. No kidding.
But it's like a guy who no one's heard of since the 90s.
Yeah. No, I love Emilio.
So
you should have kept Sheen. The Sheens did better than the Estevez.
I know, right? Yeah. Charlie Sheen.
There you go.
I heard Charlie Sheen's a cool guy.
Is he?
That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah, he's presented himself to be pretty cool.
He has that
super responsible too.
Really, really cool.
So when you started stand-up, did you have kids? Because a lot of your material now is based around your kids and your family.
I did not have kids when I started. I started stand-up in late 07 was the first time I did a mic. And I was just talking about anything. I had jokes about homeschool and jokes about Taco Bell and just observational random stuff. And then I started getting a little bit more personal as I had more to talk about. I got married, we had kids. So I started in 07, and then our first child was 2012.
Yeah.
And at that time I was really just talking about my life. So then I was that was my life. So it became really a lot about the kids and being married.
You notice that?
Yeah.
I learned that when watching Johnny Carson.
That's how he's showing he's engaged.
He's the Hummer.
It's subliminal.
But no, I think one of the things I'm scared of getting married or having kids is because I feel like I don't want to talk about that stuff. I want to talk about me. You know what I mean? And I feel like.
Well, that would be you.
Yeah, but it's also it's little Jeffrey too, or whatever my kid's name is. I don't know.
Well, whatever you're talking about, if you're talking about your life, it's always going to change. It's always going to evolve.
Yeah.
And what better way to? I'm not saying go have kids to help your act.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just don't be scared of change or progress or doing new things, because that's going to bring you new stuff to talk about.
I'm glad you made that clear, because with my Asperger's I would miscontribute that, and I'd go home and be like, I interviewed Pat McGann and he said I should have kids to be better.
I gotta get a girl pregnant if I'm serious about this.
So I'm gonna hit the strip club and try and find a lady.
Yeah, that's where you would go. Come on, Keith.
Great.
No, it's not for everybody. Parenthood.
I think
so.
I think because I can barely take care of myself. I don't know if I you know what I mean. I can't have kids until I can take care of myself. Does that make sense?
Sure.
That's the first step to good parenting.
That is.
Yeah.
That's a responsible thing to notice.
Where did you meet your wife?
I met her in a bar.
Oh, really?
I did. On a St. Patrick's Day party.
Oh, wow.
Some friends had, yeah. And we knew each other, though, from our neighborhood. I knew who she was, but I didn't know her.
Yeah.
So we kind of hit the ground running. And,
what was your pickup line? Hey, you're not wearing any green?
No, I just said, I asked her if she was from St. Cashman's, which is our parish where we grew up in the south side of Chicago. And I knew that's where she was from.
Yeah.
And so what I asked her, just so she would say yes.
Yeah.
I want to get her in the habit of saying yes to me.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
That's clever.
No, I just asked, and then we just started talking.
Yeah.
We didn't really have a pickup line or.
Yeah, I'm really bad when I.
It's a local bar, and he knew the area.
Yeah. I used to have some lines. I used to have a thing. We would do a mapkin. We draw a map of the bar on a napkin, and then make it a treasure hunt to where we were sitting was where the treasure was. And then we had it delivered to the girl, and then she had to go. It was a map of the bar, and she had to come find us for the free drink, the treasure.
I like that.
High success rate
a map
on the napkin.
I'm gonna try that.
There you go.
Because what I always use is a girl would be drinking at a bar and I'd just go up to her and I'd act like I'm ordering a drink. I'd be like, No, I'm not the kid from 2.5 Men.
Or you should tell her that you are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's right. You should tell me.
That's not a bad line.
Yeah.
The napkin's better, though.
Yeah. I'm going to try the napkin. It's going to be fun. So, in Chicago, you started off as a house MC at Zany's.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was probably the first biggest thing for me. It definitely was the first biggest thing for me, getting asked to do that. Because they weren't doing house MCs at the time.
Right.
And they went back to this house MC model where they would book you by month.
Yeah.
So I would get months of work at the time. And, when I first got the offer, I was like, I don't want to host. Because hosting had this negative connotation to it.
Yeah.
When I was starting out, when you're doing mics and when you're doing shows, you want to be booked for a spot. You want to host the show.
Right.
I didn't realize what a great opportunity it was. So anyway, started doing that, and like I said, I got so much stage time because Zany's in Chicago, where I was working, is open 7 nights a week.
Nice.
It was only my only night off was Mondays, so I worked Tuesday through Sunday. I lived right by the club. This is when I was just dating my wife, and then as we were getting married, those were those years. So I had steady work, and I would be working. At one stretch, I did 9 months in a row, and I got all this stage time. I got we were doing 15 shows a week sometimes.
Yeah.
I was on stage constantly.
Oh.
So it was incredible.
Would that hurt your writing process, or would you do?
It did a little bit. It would sometimes where I got good on that from that experience was getting comfortable on stage and talking to the audience.
Yeah.
And really being a host, and then also the networking. The people that I met there, the comics that I worked with. Every week there were new comics coming in.
Yeah.
So I worked with, it was I didn't have to travel the country to work with all these people. They came to me.
Yeah.
I was home, and I was, so there was places where it kind of stymied some growth. I wasn't doing long sets. I wasn't going up there and doing a lot of new material because I was not wanting to lose the audience. I would get them with the crowd work, and then I want to hold them, so I'd use stuff I knew that worked. So I wasn't writing as much then, I don't think, but I was getting better from just the stage time.
Yeah. Did any hosts or not hosts or headliners and features ever play jokes on you when you were the host?
Not really.
Really? Oh. Because I think that's the funnest thing when you're on the road. You go tell a host, when the headliner's on stage, you'd be talking, and it'd be because the host is usually the new. It's either usually the newest comic or the best comic. You know what I mean? It's one of those two. So then because I tour with Jay Moore right now, so one of the things we do is we say we have the sound guy play a song, and the comic has to make a joke about the song. And if it's not funny, we're just going to give him shit all night. So the host didn't make a joke, and then Jay's on stage, and I'm talking to him, and I was like, yeah, this is Thursday, I was like, you might not want to come back on Friday or Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
So, just get to this head.
Yeah. That was great. Yeah, so that's what I liked about the Zane's thing is the host was not, that was our club.
Yeah.
The House MCs. So people that came in, they didn't realize it right away, but then they realized that we worked there all the time. We knew the staff. We knew we were part of
Yeah.
But we also were comics, so
yeah.
I mean, I usually hit it off with most of the people I worked with. You didn't really run into too many assholes. Just a few I could count.
You notice comics are way more laid back than musicians when you're on the road with them.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever opened for a musician?
Not really. No, I don't think I have really worked with many musicians.
Yeah,
they're more intense.
They're more all about singing and not telling jokes.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're not as fun. I mean, not every comic wants to hang and talk and do all that either.
That's true. There's some different.
So what do you think about podcasting? Because I know you have a podcast, and I know you do.
I used to.
You used to.
I was doing one with the White Sox.
Yeah.
And that was fun, but it's just kind of it was difficult to do because it was guest oriented, and those guys were so busy, and I was getting really busy, starting to travel up. Just didn't go on, It just kind of died a slow death. I love podcasts. I don't listen to a ton of podcasts, but I thinking about starting my own.
Yeah.
I should have 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But I like him.
Yeah. I
I'm
think.
pro podcast.
Yeah, I find them as a comedian, like, it's kind of like doing a show in a way. You know what I mean? It's still doing comedy and still, because you never know who listens to it and who's gonna make who laugh. And that's why I became a comedian, to make other people laugh. You know, that's why I like it. Why do you like it?
I like it just sitting here and humming.
I love how you just set up a question for you to answer.
One day,
Well, here's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
I have a thoughtful answer to it. Because I knew the question was coming.
That's how I got started. I humming, I was, the subliminal in the room.
Right.
This is gonna be like a really odd question, but I'm gonna ask.
What you're gonna do?
We're gonna ask it because you have a great answer for it. After
no.
I'm done, you're gonna give a better answer.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Have you ever met John Cusack?
I have not met him, like officially met him. Like
He's
I'm
in
in the same
Chicago.
place as him
Oh yeah.
a few times.
Oh, how was that? Was that intense?
Yeah, I mean he's, Chicago guy.
Yeah.
Not everybody loves him in Chicago though.
Oh, tell us the story.
I don't really have any stories. I just, there seems to be some.
Yeah.
There's some stories,
Yeah.
but he's undeniable, man.
Yeah.
His career, his.
Yeah. I'm like obsessed with
You love him.
John Cusack.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah. We ask every single guest this story because we should rename this podcast. Where's John Cusack?
No,
We love John Cusack. Huh?
Yeah.
What do you love about him?
I love how I love how his movies, in a way, it's kind of like a stand-up comedy, and he doesn't know he's a comedian.
Oh, yeah.
Just by his acting, and he's so intense and real, and it just makes you laugh. And I think he doesn't know that.
What's your favorite John Cusack movie?
You're really gonna laugh. It's called The Bagman.
The Bagman.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
It was
Is
like
Joan in it?
No.
No,
It
she's
was
in
where
most of his movies, right?
it was where he played a hitman, and he took a bag from Robert De Niro, and he's just trying to like hold it in a motel for 2 hours or whatever.
Maybe I did see that movie.
Yeah. So
It's good?
yeah.
To check it out.
But like that's why, like, that's the type of artists that fascinate me. Even when I see a comedian, like, I love comics who, like, when you see them do a set, they're not necessarily funny the first time you see them, but they're funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Emo Phillips, I love that.
Oh, yeah. I worked with Emo.
Yeah.
He was a big Chicago. He started there,
Yeah.
Chicago. He was great. They love him at Zanies.
Yeah.
That's like, where they got like paintings up of him, and he comes through. He still comes through every now and then.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like that artist where you're like,
Oh,
he
sure.
changes that vibe
Yeah.
every single time. So that's why I love John Cusack. Why do you love John Cusack?
I love John Cusack because that's a subliminal. I can hum through that, and you can go on and on about him, and this is very good practice for me. I would hold a thought.
I once did meet Joan Cusack at a show, and like she came to the green room after, and she's like, "Oh, you're really, really funny." And I'm the president of John Cusack fan club, so I know everything about him.
Really?
Yeah, so I knew that they were sisters, but I was making a joke, I was like, "Yeah, thanks. Is your husband John here?" And she just thought I was the stupidest person in the world.
Really?
But like I was kind of getting off on that. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just my.
It's funny. Where was the show?
It was at L.A. called the M Bar.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if they. Yeah, on
It's
Vine.
gone.
Is it gone?
And she randomly came out there, huh?
Yeah. I don't
That's
know why.
cool.
Yeah.
It's fun when sometimes like at these Sebastian shows, there'll be like De Niro was at the Radio City show.
Oh really?
Yeah.
But did you
Remember we were just in Vegas and like Coach K, I'm a big Duke basketball fan. I grew
Oh,
up
my
loving
God.
Duke. Coach K's from Chicago. He was out there in the fourth row.
Oh.
So that's fun when you get to see some of those people at the.
How long have you been a Duke fan?
Since I was a kid, before everyone hated Duke, I'm talking like 85, 86.
Yeah.
My dad was a college basketball fan. We used to watch DePaul a lot. DePaul was very good in the 80s. And Duke would get televised, and Coach K was from Chicago, and that was like the thing. This guy's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Let's root for them. And they were really like the underdogs at that point. I remember when they beat UNLV in 91, I think. 90, 91.
Yeah.
They were the underdog. People liked Duke. Then they got tired of them. Now they think.
Who's your
hate
favorite Duke basketball player ever?
Probably Bobby Hurley.
Bobby Hurley.
Yeah.
All right.
Grant Hill.
Grant Hill. I love Grant Hill. You know Grant Hill?
Leitner.
Not at all.
Danny Ferry.
The guy who I like, I want to say we're friends, but like I check out his groceries at the store that I work at. Yeah.
JJ Redick.
No, Cherokee Parks.
Cherokee Parks.
Yeah. Or
That's a great name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
remember
he plays
that?
for the Mavericks.
Yeah. He's like a tall dude with all these tattoos and stuff.
Yeah, he's kind of. Is he from California?
I think he is. Yeah. But
He always had like a kind of hippie vibe a little bit.
Yeah. But like he always comes in with his Duke jersey on. So next time I see him with that, I'm gonna
You can tell him.
I'm gonna send it on Twitter to you. I think you'll think
Nice, yeah. I'd love to
he's a
see a
fan.
picture of you in Cherokee Parks.
Yeah, and his Duke jersey. That's the key.
It's funny that he wears the jersey. It's kind of odd.
Because like people don't really know who you are. You gotta wear a jersey of who you are.
Yeah.
That helps.
It's like wearing a shirt that says,
John Cusack.
I played at Duke.
Yeah.
I played basketball at Duke.
It's a helpful hint.
That would be the best jersey ever. If you were a basketball player, what number would you be?
21.
21? What is that?
I just like that number.
No?
I liked it when I was a kid.
Is it
Why?
because you got blackjack a
How
lot?
about you?
Oh,
21.
21? I would be 9.
Nine's not really a legal basketball number.
Really? Why not?
I mean, it is. But the numbers that are over 5, I guess 9 is.
Mm-hmm.
But like 16, 17, 18,
yeah.
26, 27, 28, 29. Used to be like the refs had to be able to hold a number on 2 hands.
Oh, yeah.
So
that makes sense.
that was the rule. That's why you never saw like a guy named number 26 or 27. Now you do because they've had so many players over the years that ran out of numbers.
I just like 9 because you could turn it over to a 6.
Oh, there you go.
Right?
That's interesting.
What's your favorite number?
Well, so, including me in this conversation, I would say, 29.
Yeah.
29?
29.
Why is that, Alan?
I like it. It's before 30, and it's the end of your 20s. And, for me, that's
It is before 30.
It is. That's an important number in one's life.
For a second, I thought he was paying attention to his podcast, and he was going to say, because
No,
you
I
could turn the
was.
9 to a 6.
Come on, I was.
29 to 6.
That's my point.
Well, we're running out of time, Pat, but,
I'm Pat.
yeah.
He's a very kind and
But-
genteel man.
Yeah. But where can the folks at home find you?
Yeah.
My website, patmcganncomedy.com. Twitter, my very active, hot Twitter page, at McGannPat.
Hey.
I'm on Instagram. I post a lot. I do post more on Instagram.
Yeah.
All right.
At McGann_Pat.
Okay.
That's where I spend most of my social media time.
Well, the John Cusack talk actually comes into play with this interview because he did a movie called Serendipity, which was about meeting someone random, and I tweeted you, and through serendipity you responded.
It was serendipitous.
Yeah.
Was it not?
Right?
I like that.
Well, Pat, thank you so much. It was a pleasure, man. And
Indeed.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Keith. Thanks, Alan.
yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, guys, follow Pat McGann, and he's also going to be in LA. We'll get this out for January 11th at the Great Western Forum.
At the Forum, yeah.
Oh, did they change it?
Showtime. The Forum.
Oh, I thought
Is it the Great Western Forum? Yeah, the Forum.
Oh, yeah.
The forum.
Oh, okay.
I live by the forum.
It's the same place.
Okay, yeah.
All right, he's going to be there.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you so much. And that's the light. We got to go. Subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. Love you guys.
Yes.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.